those that need high-low interest. And then we have ePoint Plus books, and these are books where you can, they're on a bookshelf and you can take notes, you can create reminders, you can download them and read them off screen. You know, someone like me who lives in a DSL world, even though I'm 20 minutes from Syracuse and I'm 2 miles from a highway, I live on a dirt road still, and they don't bring cable down. So a half a mile from me, there's cable, but not on my road because there's only 8 homes. So we live in hills. So there's issues for all of us. All right, so what I would like to show you, and let me just go here. Okay, I'm going to come back here, and I'm going to go to Teen Health and Wellness, and we'll launch it right from here. And you'll see here that right now I'm on the face page, but not logged in. But you can see on the left bar that there's many different, and it's not just health. It is science. It is social studies, because when you start delving into the eating disorders or friendship or green living or, you know, emotions or nutrition, all of that can also be part of science, and then skills for school, work, and life. It is also Google integrated. It's updated every single week. And I'm going to log in, and you can too. And your login is ESUFFB. ESUFFB. And please tell me you're going to log in, and I'm going to save the password. Okay, so now I'm in, and I'd like to know if Stephanie and Jen, are you in?
I'm just logging in right now. I just had to get a couple.
Okay.
Is the password the same?
ESUFFB. ESUFFB. And I'm going to move this down a minute. Okay.
Okay, I'm in. This is Jen.
And Stephanie, are you in?
Yep.
Okay, great. So now we're actually on the site. All students, staff in the Eastern Suffolk have access to Teen Health and Wellness because Carl bought it as a regional pricing. You'll see that there's hotlines in the upper right-hand corner. There's a mobile app. This mobile app is why I bought, when I bought Teen Health and Wellness, there were a couple issues that some of the librarians would not let kids use this database unless it was related to a research project or a school project. And that's one of the purposes of Teen Health and Wellness. It's not the purpose of Teen Health and Wellness. The purpose of Teen Health and Wellness is to give kids information when they need it. So I asked Rosen if they would, and I didn't know them well, but I asked them if they would create an app so that kids could have it on their own device at their own time and not just have it in school. And remember, this was 10 years ago. So databases were not as prevalent in kids' hands. Librarians were still trying to control the content that kids saw in the library, so they didn't go to places they didn't need to be. But in 1 month, Rosen created the mobile app, and that told me that they listened to the customers, and that made me committed to Teen Health and Wellness for my region until I retired. So let's look at it a minute. It's by subject, it's by alphabetical, so I can go in, I can browse by any particular subject area or content area, browse the subjects. And again, Jen, please, are you familiar with this at all?
No, not at all. This is all brand new.
So I will, anything that because I'm going to give you time to scroll and go through, I'm just going to go through some basics. I'd love for you and Stephanie to share some feedback for me. So there's a couple things I'm just going to highlight. There's always a quick video. So there's just one sample of how Teen Health and Wellness reaches out to students. And then underneath, you'll see there's more about depression. So here, and on the left, here is all subtext or about depression, risk factors, groups, myths, and so on and so forth, as well as related articles, resources, further reading, glossary of terms. And you see, choosing a therapist, mood disorders, stress, support groups. You see hotlines. Now, one thing that we can do, these are national hotlines, but if Carl were to send us the local hotlines, our staff will embed them in as well. And that's very powerful because a lot of kids, you know, as a librarian, what I used to see is these types of books were shoved all over the library years ago. And I'd say it took me a while to realize that they were shoving them in places because they did not want people to necessarily know that they were even reading the books. So there is talk about, yes?
I'm saying it's great that you could add in the local. We do have in Suffolk County the response hotline, so that's good information.
So if we send those to Carl, then we could add them in. You know, if you send them to Carl. You'll also notice it's the Google languages, so there's many different languages that this translates to. You can share it through social media, Facebook, Twitter, you know, email, Reddit. You can save any of the articles. You can listen. Let's hope it's gonna, now this says I'm gonna put it into a mail.
Depression.
Okay.
Volume 90%. Rewind 10 seconds.
I have no idea
Next
why.
up. Live. 0000.
I have no idea what it's doing.
0000. 0120.
I'm going to
Airplay.
stop that because I have no idea what it's doing. But it does read, and it could be part of Zoom. I don't know, but I hope not because I have other audio to show you. So here we have that, and then you can print, email, you can cite it. There's Noodle Tools is in here, EasyBib. Folks use different tool systems, so there's a citation for you. And if we go back to home, you'll also note that under the video, it says submit your own video. And I find this extremely powerful, and I didn't even know we had this until one of my librarians with their health teacher worked with classes to submit a PSA. And these PSAs, you know, from depression to green living, we ask that they be a short public service announcement. In the science databases, they can be longer than, we ask for these to be under 3 minutes, and if possible, even a minute. Here's one that a student created.
Let's make a change. Let's stick together. Let's end this. There comes a time
before it ends us.
when we heed a certain call, and the world must come together as one. Don't let them suffer. When it's time to lend a hand.
And you can, of course, make this full screen if you wanted.
We can't go on pretending day by day.
Let's make a promise.
So I'm just going to stop it because I know you get the idea. But you can have a lesson plan. There's a video release form. There's music from Sounds Abound right here that you can use. And once it's submitted, and then once it's vetted and accepted, the students, and listen to this, Jen and Stephanie, get a $25 gift certificate. Every single student that it gets accepted and in here gets a $25 gift certificate from Barnes & Noble.
Wow.
So their work is not only published in database because Alberta, Canada, Ontario buy this database for their whole province. It is also bought in Indonesia. So a student then has also something to put on their resume. So it can be very powerful because they get acknowledged, but it's also good for their own development. Now here's a video gallery, and these are all student created. Everything with an asterisk indicates a student created video. So they can go in and get ideas from others. And there's, as you see, there's many, many videos. So it becomes student focused and student by students as well. So the content gets merged. And I think that really speaks volumes as far as getting kids excited about their own learning and knowing that they make a difference in not only their lives, but in others. Going back to the home, is there any questions about that, Jen or Stephanie?
No, I think it's pretty self-explanatory.
It's really just powerful. Just, that students really know that it's authentic.
Oh, absolutely.
And then there's always stories. And again, there's students submit stories every day. Every day. They submit their own stories. And then there's, on the left-hand side, are articles that relate to the story that is submitted. And obviously, this is on volunteering. Whoops. Let me go back there. I didn't mean to do that. I'm going to try to listen again and just see.
Joella's story.
Okay, so.
I sit here waiting for something to come to me to describe what volunteer work is to me.
Now, it is computer generated, where because of all of the language, in our other Spotlight books, it's actor narrated. But for this, it is computer generated, but it still is very helpful, and you can turn on and off. You can make it male and female if you want. But for audio learners, this may be something that really, suits them. Going back home, you also, so you can read story, you can share your story, and you can read other story in relation to what the content is for that particular, and this changes every week. And then we have a psychologist on board, which is Dr. Jan's Corner, and they can ask a question. So Here is recently, I told my dad that I was feeling stressed out. He said that I'm too young at 17 to be stressed. Is that true? And then here's Dr. Jan's, it tells you who he is, and then his answer to it, and then again, a link to the related content within the Teen Health and Wellness, more about stress, other questions, ask a question, hotlines to get help, and then just things on the archive of Dr. Jan's archive on many different subject areas. So that's another reach out for students to have, that if they want to, remain anonymous, but yet want to ask a question, and it is responded to by someone who has that knowledge.
Please come to the high school office.
I can't hear you. Say that again.
Now, that's just my announcements going off at the in-between period. So.
Okay, sorry about that. And then there's always a place where kids can vote. And this one happens to be about driver's license. My nephew in Brooklyn has no interest in getting a driver's license now that he's even, at 17, he doesn't care. But, here's a vote. There's always something in the news. Spreading holiday season cheer is a volunteerism. And then, of course, more related stories in that area. And then, did you know, just a snippet, while many people may feel uncomfortable talking to family and friends about mental health, social media is proving to be an outlet for starting positive mental health conversations. The Twitter hashtag #MyMentalState in 5 words, started by Amanda Stafford, proves this point. The tag has been used to connect with others and reflect on depression, anxiety, or just whatever a person was feeling at the moment. So here you're learning more about depression and previous interesting or fun facts. So that's just your head page, as you see. And in that, I'm going to give you both. And Stephanie, you have a way to explore this as well? Yes. So I'm going to give you just 5 minutes. And if you can share with us something that you have noted or is of use, that would be very helpful. There's a glossary if you wanted to see a glossary of things as well. So I'll give you 5 minutes and we'll take it from there. All right? And we'll resume back. Well, I'll give you a little more than 5 minutes. We'll resume back at 12:40 and it's 12:33 right now.
Can you tell me before we break, is there a spot on here where it goes straight to the lesson plans? I know they're integrated in the into the subject areas, but I was wondering if there was just another area that had lesson plans as well.
Let me go to site help and look. I don't know I know where the lesson plans are in others, but I think these are, I don't know if they gather them all together. The Librarian Educator Resource page, let's go there. Here's lesson plans right here on the left-hand side. Do you see it? I went to Librarian Educators Resources. I clicked that on, and on the left side, I have lesson plans. So you can create widgets. There's a user's guide. There's statistics. Okay, so here are the lesson plans right here.
Okay, so that's under site help, is that right?
I went under site help and then Librarian Educator Resources.
Yeah, I don't think I have that on my tab.
Let me just go back again. It's on the upper right-hand tab where it says hotlines, mobile apps.
Yeah, I got. When I hit site help, I get I don't get I get that page that you're on right now. Scroll
to where did I find it?
Oh,
Librarian Educator Resources. Do you see it?
Yep, I got it. I got you.
There you go. I agree with you. It's a little buried. There's just so much content on here. And then if you click on that, it gives you lesson plans on the left-hand side. Thanks for pointing that out because I didn't know.
No.
So that's good. So here you have, and we take lesson plans too. You know, if you have an exemplary lesson plan that you'd love to post up, we take them.
Gotcha.
So you can do like health and wellness. It's looking at the PSA kind of walks you through what to use for a PSA. Here's a sample lesson plan on sexual health. So there's your lesson plans. There's your personal story projects. It kind of guides you into and then it gives you examples of the personal story project.
Now, maybe you're going to go into this, but I just was curious, like, how do students access this through their digital media library? Like, so you said it works with Google Classroom. Are you going to talk?
It all depends on your school, and you would contact Carl because it goes through the virtual reference collection.
Right.
But they can also, with a username and password, what I just gave you, they can do it at home.
Gotcha. Okay.
But in school, you should either be IP authenticated or you go through a portal of many different databases. So Carl would help you with that.
Now, what about me in the Western Suffolk BOCES?
You don't have access to this, unfortunately. You could buy it for your school. You could have a trial of it. It's very, very popular. I know many Western Suffolk schools buy it individually. And you would talk to Sarah about, you know, what the cost is if this is something you're interested in for your 7th and 8th graders and how many students you have. Are you a small or a big school, Stephanie?
Small school.
Yeah, so you would get small school pricing. So it'd be under probably $400 a year for you. It's very reasonably priced because we want kids to use it. I mean, that's really our key. But I could say for 6th grades, I would do it only with a lot of modeled instruction because some of the content, you know, the sexuality content might be, it has to be age appropriate because this is a non-judgmental. It talks about LGBT. It embraces diverse learning or living styles. So you have to just be aware of that.
And who does the research behind the content? Is that science-based, peer-reviewed, or?
Say that again. I didn't hear it.
I'm asking, like, the information, like in the articles and the content part of it. Who is that supported by? Like, is it peer-reviewed, science-based?
It's both. I mean, some of the reviews of what students submit are not only peer-reviewed, but I look at some of the videos and things of that nature. And then here's the philosophy, and here's the content. It comes from, I'm just trying to see here. It's won all sorts of awards. Here's the members of the expert review board. Right here, find out
Gotcha.
more about the members. But they come from science reviews, you know, history, all different, draws upon all different resources. It's looking at here, 500 new and backlist books, as well as magazines and journals. And then it's aligned. And it's also, they just aligned it to the Castle standards. I don't know, Jen, if you're using them, the collaborative academic, social, and emotional learning standards that now with the mental health
Right?
unfunded mandate for New York
Yeah,
State, the whole, now we're really starting to care about kids' mental health and well-being and not just academic health and well-being. Those standards have been in place for years, but this is aligned to them.
Gotcha. Okay.
And that is has all been done over the summer.
Wonderful.
So here is where you can find out that type of information that here's the single sign-on. But everything that a student submits has to go through a process. For example, I looked at one and they were using a gun to the head for suicide. And we really debated whether or not it was appropriate. And we ended up not, we don't like to censor. However, we didn't feel that it was sending the right message.
Gotcha. Yep.
It really has to be. And that's something that a teacher and a librarian or, and a student work together with. And we knew what he was trying to say, but we didn't, trust me, it was like an hour and a half discussion on what do we do with this video, because you want to promote it and you don't want to censor it, but you have to be very sensitive to the messaging as well. And that was a couple years ago, and it ended up not getting on. But we explained to the student why.
Right.
Yeah. So, is there anything more that you want to know about teen health and wellness? And Stephanie, from a grade 7-8, do you see it where this is our #1 database out of all of our databases. It has won so many awards, and it makes sense. But do you see it for your students?
I definitely do, because I know for many of my students, they keep things bottled up inside because it's not.
Well, there's no time. We're such a hurried society. And I think the pressure of social media, where I'm not real active on social media, I'm a kind of a lurker. I can't imagine the pressure that students now go through with instant messaging being sent, or you're sending it all the time. So, okay, so are we ready to move on?
Yes.
Yep, I'm good.
Okay, because again, you have the username and password, and Stephanie, I can always give you a trial if that's something that you would like, and you can have it for months. We don't give a trial for 2 weeks. We give a trial for a few months because you have to use it in the contents of your kids.
Okay.
All right. So I'm going to log out of that, see, and I just go back to this page. So this is the only database that I was going to show you today, but if you want more, just let me know. And then we're going to go to Rosen Learning Center next. And these are the interactive ebooks. I think I'll start out with character strength, because that kind of ties into the social and emotional. And this is what it looks like if you go to this page, Rosen Learning Center, which is rosenlearningcenter.com. Can you see it up here?
Yeah.
And it's all one word. And it's the same username and password, ESUFFB. And again, this doesn't look like it on, it does look like it on Western Suffolk, but they don't have as much content. But Carl goes through the portal again, the Opals portal. So let me know when you're logged in.
Yeah, I'm not.
I'm logged in.
And we see many different, I'm going to go to teen character strength, I think. Let me see.
It was the top one.
Tell me they don't have, he doesn't have teen character strength. I have to look that up. He may not have, he's got teen cyber smarts. All right, I'm going to show you this even though it's younger in age. I thought I'll ask Carl if this is something you really like, Jen. I can ask Carl if he wants to. It's very reasonable if he wants to purchase it. I thought he had both character strength and teen character strength. They're the same names, just geared towards older students.
Okay.
This is really geared towards grades 3 through 5, 6. Which one would you like to see?
Self-control.
Oh, I know that one. We all work on that one. Yeah.
Or Denise can pick. I've been hogging the whole thing.
No, that's okay. This is very appropriate for Stephanie as well. It's going to be loading. And let me know when it loads for you guys. It's usually much quicker than this, but again, I don't know. Let me check my internet. Okay, I am. Now, I can read the book alone, or I can read the book with activities, and that's what I would choose. I mean, for some students, you may want to start with reading it alone. But what it does is it applies, I can create a digital storyboard, which is writing a narrative. I can create a wiki page, which is writing to inform, and I could create a book review, which is an opinion. So depending on what you want students to learn, you're not only learning about the content of the book, you're applying it to a 21st century skill. So that if you want them, which one do you want just for a sample? Choose one.
A wiki page?
Okay, so if we do a wiki page and we go over, it tells you it's a website on which people can add, change, and delete content. That it's made up of one or more pages of information. It's to inform others about the importance of having self-control. So that's what this wiki page that you're developing is going to be about.
Character strength.
Now, you notice.
Self-control.
Okay, this is an
Sarah
actor.
Antill.
Okay. I can now, I'm going to turn the page.
Contents. Discovering character strengths.
I'm
Page 4.
going to
What is
pause this a moment. And do you see on the upper left hand or upper, you see start your wiki page?
Yeah.
And then it says 0 of 12 steps complete. So I'm going to start my wiki page and I'm going to type my name. It tells me the date. Oops, come on up here. And it tells me what I'm going to, this is the writing tip. So now I'm going to save it. So now I have to write down that password because in order to edit and go back, this is an algorithm. So you have to teach your students to write that password in. Uh-oh. Why is it unstable? And I'm going to now continue because now it knows if I view my progress, here are my steps right here. Add a title, topic, key, supporting details, key idea, more supporting details, conclusion, choose pictures that are already vetted in the program. And there's one more thing that you have to do. Then I can share it electronically, send it to a teacher's folder or librarians, or I can print it out. And what it does give you is a sample of student writing. So let's go to this page, all right? Now, if I'm gonna continue, I can use the highlight on or off. I can,
Discovering character strengths.
okay,
Imagine two students in class.
or I can turn
One is
this
talking
on.
to others and does not have her homework ready. The other is sitting quiet.
So here it gives you just a snippet of information. And one thing we do note that students get overloaded with information. And it may not seem like there's a lot on the page, but then I do have a video. And it'll be a video clip. And why it's unstable, I have no idea.
Yeah, I haven't been able to get in on the desktop here. Get logged out.
You're not in it and on any of this?
No, I mean I'm seeing the presentation you're doing, but when I logged into when I hit this self-control to create the wiki,
Yep.
it's just doing the same thing on that yours is doing with the little bar there.
Yeah, it's thinking here and I can't even escape out of it. That's interesting. Let me go back here. Oh, okay. I don't know why it's doing that because here they have a, they do have, okay, wiki. So I have to say that it was the character strength. It should not be, okay.
Character strength.
Okay, so
Self-control.
let me just pause that. So now I could go back. I got to hide this. Okay, show this. Okay. So I could go back. I don't want to click on, but if I click on this and I click on this, it reads it. So each page, here's a chart. Let me see if this will, okay.
This
so
concept web
chart
shows
comes
some
up.
of the qualities that have been linked to self-control. Studies show that kids who have good self-control at age 4 develop into students who are stronger in these qualities than kids who did not have good self-control at 4.
So here are self-control and things. So now what a student has to do is they have to create a topic sentence. And it gives you a prompt. What is self-control? Why is having self-control important? Use clear and personal language. This is not to be a book. It is to be like a summary of the page. So the important thing to note is, you know, it's 1 or 2 sentences. It doesn't let you go on and on and on. And with this small amount of information, but yet focused and intentional, a student should be able to then write that topic sentence. And what it does is it goes on to the next page, and that's where your key idea is. And are you seeing everything?
Yep.
Okay. So, and then the next page is, I'm going to try to click a video on again. And here's a supporting detail after they read this. So again, snippets of information. The informational text is organized in a way it's, you know, enough, but yet not overwhelming. It is able to then locate what they need to respond to in each page. And then you can always view your progress on the steps. I'm gonna, why is it doing that? Okay, so I'm gonna just try to see if this will load. Okay, so now it's
Being
loading.
prepared also means that when you leave school for the day, you remember to bring the books, papers, and instructions you need to do your homework.
So again, just, you know, more prompts. And at the end, you know, again, add another key detail. Here's something on Du Bois. Here's the inner resource. Here's encouraging self-control. Here is a picture.
If you are working with a group, you can encourage everyone to
And then setting goals, finding the balance. And here's your my report card on self-control, as well as a glossary. And at the end, you can choose a picture, you add the pictures, you cite your source, and then you send that off or print it out. So now you have a sample of student writing as well. And then they have the steps that is necessary to understand what a wiki is. Does that make sense?
Yep.
And I have no idea why it's telling me all of this, but who knows? It could be the internet here. It's only snowing a little bit, and they told me they have really fast broadband here. So,
Yeah,
I-
I'm surprised it doesn't, so.
Zoom also has its
my report card.
its
Self-control.
own. Okay.
How
So
much self-control do you show?
I'm going to pause that. So this is a sample of what we call an interactive ebook with content creation tools. And we have several, of these. We have 120 of them. And what it does is it really helps organize students' thoughts. It gives them, illustrations. It's an organizational aid. It helps them summarize their thoughts, and then it produces and gives you a sample of their writing. Is it grammatically correct? That's up to you. Do you want it to, is it the content and the grammar? That's why if they have the username and password, they can go back in and edit their work if you feel that that's part of the learning process. Does that make sense?
Yep.
Okay. All right. So
Is there,
go ahead.
on the ebooks, is there a way to change the language in here as well, or not?
What do you mean the language?
Like, well, when we were on the teen health database, you could switch it to like Spanish or something like.
This is not. These books sell for $24.95 a piece.
Yeah,
So this is it is what it is. There's not a language, and I don't think we have any interactive ebooks with it, actually, to be honest with you. So I'm going back to the collection. Go ahead.
I just ask a lot of questions, that's all.
That's fine. I'm a question person myself. That's why I became a librarian, because I asked way too many questions. So that is what we call an interactive ebook with content creation tools. All right. Another, and that relates, these are the characteristics that the research says helps to make a person a contributing member of a democratic society. We have to have that grit. We have to have social intelligence to read people, to understand, awkward moments and what to do about them, and when to say things, and, reading body language. All of this is kind of important for us to be healthy and whole. So this is available in the, it's really grades, I would say 8 through 10 is appropriate for this. So Stephanie, do you have any questions?
No, I'm good so far.
Okay, because again, anything that you feel that you want to know about, I can get you a trial on any of this. What you both have is Teen Cyber Smarts. Now this is a little bit different, and I'm not sure if it relates to health as much, but Teen Cyber Smarts is really focused. It's an interactive ebook. It is 5 books. Grades, it says 7 through 12. I'd say 7 through 10, really. It covers topics of cyberbullying, online predators, social network, online privacy. The beauty of these books is they're updated annually in order to be, CPA compliant, the Child Internet Protection, as well as E-rate. And the content has got to be updated because it changes so much. So these are what we call simulations. Is there a particular title you'd like to see? Stephanie, is there a title?
Teens using social networks.
Okay, so let's look at that. It's coming. You remember the days, you guys might be too young, where kids would print 5, 10 times because it wasn't coming out fast enough? That's where we've become with even loading ebooks.
That still happens.
Yeah.
Do they really? They print.
Yes, it's instant gratification.
Yeah.
Hey, I remember ditto machines. So while this is loading, what this really does is these create learning simulations. They're geared towards specific content areas. They create a username, they choose an avatar, they chat, they send messages, they create profiles, they receive friend invitations, but it's all in a safe environment. It's an intranet. And again, we always have, by the way, cite this book in credits. So you'll see where this book was originally published in 2012, except it was updated over the summer, so it's a 2019 copyright because of its update. So here in using social networks, you'll see a left side handbar of features like apps. And again, this will give you
apps, software for computers or mobile devices.
Now that you can hear it's audio. You can hear that it's an actor, all right? It is not a computer generated. And when you listen.
Social networks everywhere. There's a good chance you're already very familiar with social networks.
Okay, so there you are with that. So now what it tells you to do is, you see there's a little prompt here. You see that there's learning more. You see there's a little activity. Social networks are a great place to share photos and messages. So feel free to post whatever you want. Is that true or false? I'd say it's false. Okay, so now it's telling you. And then it goes, next question. You can visit social networks on many different devices. I want to say true. Oh, that's true. And then it gives it. And then are a place to chill out and have fun, so you don't have to worry about who you talk to. If I say that's true, now it's telling me even though social networks are fun, you should always be aware, etc., of what you post and keep your private information hidden and things of that nature. And then you view your score. And then you can restart the quiz if you want. So it's just a little bit of check for understanding. There is a getting started guide. There's a problem solving chart. There's questions. There's a lesson plan. And there's an ebook trailer lesson plan. And then there's always websites to go to that have been vetted and made sure that they are, while you're leaving the website, it is appropriate websites to go to. So again, it helps organize it. I log in to view your profile. Let's go see what this is right here. This is a new message, and it tells you it's here to help you make smart choices while you use the internet. Log on to select a username and avatar. Make a status update by clicking Edit Profile. You can check your simulation progress at any time by tracking the progress. Want to just read the book? you can do that as well. So if you log in now, it'll say enter your password, and I'll just say Judy D, log in. Oops, I don't know what my password is. Let me cancel out of that. Maybe I have to log in to view your profile. I don't know what my password is. Let me just see this. Okay. I will say that someone else has used this book, so I will have to find that out. But you should be able to, I have to find that out. Have to excuse me on that one. I can view it full screen too, by the way. I have to log in on Team. I'm on social, right?
Social networks.
Yeah, it should not be doing that again because you see, I don't have a message anymore, and I have no new friend invites. Let me go to the next page and just see something here. So now notice everything changes on the left side. Your age requirements, your Instagram or Snapchat, your privacy on social networks. You know, here's a social network matchup. And I did get another prompt. You're going to want to check this ridic new site I found. I made up a birthday. So, okay, so right here. So help me decide. And then there's a prompt that says there's a decision you have to make. Do you want to make that decision? What I don't understand is I have to create my new profile. Do you guys have an option to create a new profile?
Yeah.
Okay. Log in to view your profile. See, I use this as a demo, and do I remember what it is? Of course not. Oh, here's a create new profile. Okay. So here's my username. Home run slot. You can choose whatever you want. Okay. So I'm going to say popcorn 1988. $19.98. I miss my puppy, or it was math homework. You can use a picture, and again, these are pictures that are there. You have to use them. So I can say, you know, this is me, and I can say, can't wait for summer, and save it. Okay. So here's my password. There it is. Okay, bug6plan X. See, please note your password. You can use it to log on. So now I can log, you know, I'm in. So from here, you can then just go through the prompts. You can check your progress right here to see what you're doing. So here it is, choosing your network, obeying site rules. And so these are the prompts. And when you are done with those prompts and you have gone through them, you then get, at the end, you get a certificate so you know that you went through those particular exercises. Does that make sense?
Yep.
And here's your digital footprint or tattoo, which I didn't even know.
People use the phrase digital footprint to describe the content.
It's buffering.
Found about you in cyberspace. It's the idea that everything you have ever written, viewed, or posted online becomes part of a permanent record. Some experts are beginning to suggest that instead of a digital footprint, it should be considered a digital tattoo. A tattoo cannot be washed away like a footprint. The tattoo, like your online content, is essentially a permanent part of your life. There are ways to protect your digital tattoo. Avoid posting negative language, statements, or rumors online. Your online history includes the websites you have visited, so make sure you're only clicking on sites with appropriate material. Managing your online reputation is as important as managing your reputation in the real world.
Okay.
Judy,
Yes.
what's the point of that like fake profile thing?
Where are you?
Like where you put that popcorn 1998? Like I don't understand the point of making like a fake profile with a fake status.
You're doing an intranet. So this is all contained within. They're not going out to create it. It's a simulation game. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Would the students, if they were done with the session, log out and then 2 weeks later log back in with popcorn 1998 and then that password?
Yes. That's how they could go back to edit anything they wanted to or to finish the simulations. Because when you go to tracking your progress here, this is all to be completed. Choosing your network, obeying site rules, avoiding. So these are simulations that you go to here, and you have to finish this.
Within the intranet, is there a way for the librarian or teacher to get everyone's username and passwords?
Well, they could. I mean, they're generated here in my profile. They have to choose, like, here's your pictures. This is only the pictures you can have. In your usernames, so I could change my picture here now. I just edited my picture. Here's my password. Here's my username. You can only use what's here, because that's the way they can, it's a simulation of what they need to do to be on the internet, but they're not on it. They're within our network. Does that make sense, Mark?
But going back on, do they just have to memorize their password, or they have to remember their username and password?
Well, they have to remember their password. You have to write it down.
But they could use any username, that just doesn't matter.
Well, no, because it'll go back. It will, if I save the changes, right? And let's just do this. Okay,
Yeah,
so I'm going to log out. Okay. So now I'm logging. I logged out. So now I'm going to log in, and I have to enter my password. Bug 6 plan X. And it just brought me up. You see it?
Right, so they really just have to memorize the password then?
Well, they have to memorize, or I'd write it down. I can't memorize anything anymore. But yes, they have to log somewhere their password, just like with the character strength books, the IEBs. You have to log in that algorithm, because that's what saves you. So as long as you remember that, now I could go and track, because I may not do all of my progress at the same time. I may not have enough time, so I may want to do just a couple of them and then go over. And then the choices will be, as you're saving them, it moves over, and then it will print a certificate when you're completed. Does that make sense? Mark, does that make sense to you? And then here are, can you hear me, Mark?
Yes.
Okay. So here is your getting started guide, your problem solving chart, questions for discussion. These are all things that you can use with the students as well. But the idea is that students go through this in a more or less self-directed way to understand the impact that the social network has on their life and the impact that they have on their life doing this. But it's all on an intranet.
So a teacher would not be able to have access to their usernames or password.
Well, you could say, give me, here's the master sheet, write down your name and your thing, but your password. But the reality is that, you know, having students complete it would
Right.
show that they accomplished, that's their assessment,
Right.
is the tasks. But you really can't, like, here, true or false, you know, that changes. Well, let me just go here. See, there's always an activity on each page, not each page, but some. And here's your bedroom with glass walls. Here's a little video clip. Here's that video clip on your digital footprint, or learn more about password swapping. There's always something there. The only thing that stays the same is the instructional support. And here's another activity of what not to share. You know? So there's so much stuff. Like I even get in my emails that I don't even know if they're really from the airlines or whatever, you know, that you have to make sure that you're aware of. So for this, it just helps a student gain their own knowledge, because they do think they know it all. Absolutely. But this helps them organize their information and their learning in an environment that is secure. So each book has all the, they have to go through this for every single book. The username is only unique, I believe, to the title of the book. I mean, we can go and try it. Do you want to try another book?
Yeah, I'd like to see that.
Okay, so let me go. Okay, I am going to exit the full screen, and I'm going to go back, see the right-hand side here, to my bookshelf. Oh, that's interesting. Come on. There we go. Okay, so now I'm going to just go with protecting their privacy online.
So can they do these in any order then, I'm guessing?
No, there isn't any really order for the book.
Okay.
You know, the titles are just placed on the shelf. It's whatever is appropriate. I don't, okay,
Gotcha.
loading. But just note that they're updated annually, so they are. Okay, come on. So if I go here and I start, and I'm going to log in, I'm just going to.
Do you know how long if they were to sit and do one simulation, how long that would take approximately?
Well, it depends on the student's reading ability and ease of navigating this type, but I would say it'd be difficult. I mean, I don't think you could do it in 40 minutes.
Gotcha.
But if I log in here, see, I don't think my password is going to work.
Mine did.
I did?
Yeah, mine did. Yeah.
Oh my Lord, okay. So now we can use that username and password for every book. That's good. I like that idea. Now I got to remember this one. Okay. Okay. So that is, so now we have, once they learn the formatting, and again, you know, it doesn't look like a lot of text, but then you start going into learn more in the video clip. You know, the content is there. It's just scaffolded differently that makes it manageable for students, especially struggling readers or those that don't have the, you know, special needs, or language, ELL, that it just makes it, kids find it manageable. I saw sixth graders on one of our first grade books in the content creation tools, and they were an 8-to-1 class, but they were finding huge success with it. So it all depends on the readability and the vocabulary, and the students have to also know how to navigate. So I have, are there any other questions about, now this is Teen Cyber Smarts, which both of you own, and you also have the younger version, which is grades 3 through 6. And this is what we just looked at, was 7 through 12. And I cannot believe I just got kicked into an old set. I have to close out of that. Is there another? I have to probably, okay, I'm back here. Okay. Is there anything else in Teen Cyber Smarts? Because I have one other thing to show you, and then we can end.
I'm okay.
Stephanie, you okay with Cyber Smarts? Are you there, Stephanie?
Yeah, I'm good.
Okay. So now we're going to go into spotlights. And I'm trying to think if these are very instructional, and I'm not quite sure, like, I'm trying to think which one might relate to health. Or is there a certain one? Let's see. Is there a certain title that one of you would like to see? Because we'll only have time to go through one title. So.
Do they have spotlight on,
There's a door. Both of you.
yeah, the civil rights?
They do not own the spotlight on civil rights, and they do not own the spotlights on civil action. Would you like to see the civil rights?
Yes, I was curious about
Okay, so then I am going to log out of here and go into mine, okay?
Okay.
Just bear with me a moment. Okay. Stephanie, you want to see the civil rights or the civic action?
Civil rights.
Okay. Holy jeez. Where are you? I don't even see it logging me in here. Let me just go. No. Okay. Let me close out of this. Mark?
Yes.
Is Zoom, I know Carl said he's really never used it for a lot of content. He usually uses it for meetings.
Yeah.
But it seems like I'm getting hung up. It's not wanting to go.
Yeah, Zoom wouldn't stop
I can't hear you.
Zoom wouldn't stop anything.
Okay. Can you tell if it's chugging? Because I don't even see it working. I'm on Tully. I'm on the internet here. Should I go into Chrome? Let me try Chrome a minute.
Can you hear me, Judy?
Yep.
It might be helpful if you stop sharing your screen.
Hold on a minute. Let me just see. I went into Chrome. I'm going to see if it goes into Chrome. Okay, so it seems like it's going into Chrome.
Okay.
It seems like it got hung up in Safari somehow. Maybe. Okay. See, I have so much content. That's the other thing. But I'm going to go into Spotlight on. Let me just see. I'm trying to find, I see civic action. I don't see civil rights movement. Is it Spotlight on the civil rights movement? Okay. You see that, Stephanie? It's because there's a "the" in it. Spotlight on the civil rights movement. It was alphabetized with the "the." So Spotlight on the civil rights movement is a new series, and we're actually coming out with a 13th.
Judy?
Yes?
Are you using two screens?
No?
We can only see the we can only see your login screen for Rosen.
Let me close out of that and see. I'm going to close that screen. Oh, I just got you.
Yeah, now we see you.
Now, okay, so I have to reshare, I think.
Maybe.
Okay. Do you see it now?
Yes.
Okay. I think that's what happened is because I didn't share the Chrome screen. I'm getting there. Okay, so here are the civil rights. And Jen?
Yeah, I'm here.
I don't know if you want to stay on for this. You're welcome. But if not, it was a pleasure. And if you have any questions, see Carl, or you can email me at JudyD, JUDID at rosenpub.com, ROSENPUB.com.
Just, it was JUDI?
D.
D, okay. At
My
Rosen.
first initial and my last name, JUDID at rosenpub.com.
Awesome. Thank you. I'm going to sign off then because
Yep.
I play around with the other stuff.
Great. It was a pleasure. And let me know if I can be of any other help for you. Thanks for taking the time.
Thank you. Bye now.
All right. Bye-bye. Okay, Stephanie? Are you there? I can't hear. Yep, you're here.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, we're here.
So tell me what book, Stephanie, you would like to see.
Let's see.
Freedom Riders, Black Power. I don't know what your kids are. Rosa Parks.
I know. I'm trying to.
There's so much content here.
Yeah. No, there is. I know. Years back, we did like the whole Emmett Till thing, but we haven't done that. And, I don't know. Let's go with the Rosa Parks.
Okay.
That one's usually, you know.
Okay, so this now your BOCES has Spotlight on civic action,
Right.
5 or 6 titles. But what I'm going to show you is the features are the features in every single book, okay? So it doesn't matter. It's the content that's important, but I'm going to show you some of the features. So I'm going to go full screen because I think it always makes it easier. Your credits are always on the bottom, as well as cite the book. I'm going to move you over a little bit here. So in our Spotlight series, they are heavily instructional, and they're built towards an inquiry-based model, all right? Inquiry and project-based learning. So you will find that there's many ways of seeing the information, and it doesn't look, again, like there's a lot, but when you start manipulating it, you find that it has a lot of different features. For example, you have the timeline, and the timeline gives you world events as well as Rosa Parks events, okay? So here she rules. Here she was probably attends the local NAACP meeting and becomes the secretary. So this woman could actually write in 1943. And here is the Cold War. So you have world events. So you see that it's a bigger picture than just what's happening in Montgomery, Alabama. So here you now have a map that you can use with students that can be printed out. You have explore the page with
Colored,
voice,
a word that was once commonly used to refer to African Americans.
actor narrated, Rosa Parks here. And then you have, again, more about, so they're, by the way, they're all aligned to the national and the social studies frameworks, and I'll show you that in the lesson plans. And you note that that's actor narrated, which I think really makes a big difference for schools and for students, so it supports different diverse learning styles. There's videos, photos, and maps that support, visual information, and this is loading. There is voice here as well as a photo. You can always view larger, so here is
Montgomery Fair Department Store. Montgomery Fair was a large department store located at 29 Dexter Avenue in Montgomery, Alabama. It operated in a 4-story building.
So there is, just another bit of information. Here on the lower side, you can do a table of contents, and any table of contents can be linked. So is there anything particular you want to go to? Because sometimes books aren't meant to read cover to cover.
All right, how about you go to page 26?
Okay, so here's page 26 about the boycott. Note that the timeline changes. Now we have a question here. How long did the bus boycott? I got to move our screen here. In Montgomery last? Get the answer. So again, check for understanding. It lasted over a year. You can see here there's a primary source video as well as a near empty bus of 1956. So we can go to a primary source.
Let me ask this question. What do colored people now hope to gain by pressing the segregation fight at this time? What immediate results do you hope to achieve?
Well, we hope to achieve equal rights as any human being deserves. That's what we are working for.
What do you think the prospects are for achieving that goal?
I think we'll be successful if we continue.
How long do you think it would take?
I have no idea how long.
So you see there that it's original footage. So there's primary and secondary sources for student analysis. You can view the transcript if you'd like. There is closed captioning now, that if you wanted to have closed captioning, it would be there. Okay. You can turn that on and off. And that's helpful for some students as well. And then you have a browse pages. So now I can also go through, if you wanted to assign different students, like, do what we call like a pair and share, where they take certain pages and they'll report back on, and those take, different pages. You can see really briefly the pages. You do have an index, and all of this is on the bottom bar. And all of the indexes have live links as well. So I can say, oh, who's Joanne Robinson? So I can go there, and I can find something about Joanne Robinson. Okay. And I'm trying to see, oh, she's listed right here. They arrested Joanne Robinson. So that was one of the people that got arrested. But again, a map changes, the timeline changes. So we have biographies of key figures that provides, text of reading in various reading complexities, another primary source. We are in full screen. I can view the book only if I don't want all of that features available. I can exit this full screen as well, or I can view it full screen with everything, okay? The most powerful thing is the instructional support of this. When we look at the planning guide, and it's probably, 80 pages or so. I'm going to try to see if we can, I would strongly suggest reading the introduction. I'm going to see if this is going to download right on. Okay, it is. Because Mary, I don't know if you're familiar with Mary Ratzer or Paige Yeager, both former librarians, and Paige is a school library system director, but Mary Ratzer did a wonderful job of setting the social study frameworks in text as well as icons. I'm not a person that needs sentences completely. I like blurbs. I like graphic organizers. I like to see things very quickly. And so they created an introduction that really is used by, let's go to, it's loading. Okay, it's a concise overview of the New York Social Studies standards. I know people that use this in staff development. It's about 8 pages long, but what's really great is it takes in the frameworks in a text as well as icons and graph forms. So it really helps you to understand and teachers to understand how inquiry and project-based and personal learning is integrated into all of our resources. So this is in all of our social studies, and then the science ones have that. So this is kind of the goal and the thinking of it. And then now this is the overall, each book has the planning guide, and each book has the individual lesson plan for that particular book. What I'm showing you is the overall planning guide that has everything in it. So when we look at, here's digging deeper into the C3 goals, when you look at the concepts of civics, history, economics, and geography, these are the attributes that this series speaks to. I'm just going to go, here's a lesson, all the graphic organizers. So here's a sample of a lesson plan. It gives you an essential or compelling questions. It gives you guiding or supporting questions. You would really only choose one of these to answer for the book, or have students choose, possibly 2 and do it in a group. You have the C3 standards, inquiry and action. You have activity ideas, and again, you have to choose, and it tells you what graphic organizers you use, and the graphic organizers are embedded in. You have simulation ideas. You have knowledge product ideas, and it kind of explains it, the college, career, and civic life C3 framework for social studies state standards. Identify knowledge products suited for civic engagement and informed civic action. So then it just gives you some ideas, let's see, like writing a blog. And yet, if you use the content creation tools, one of the choices would be to create a blog. So then now students would know that a blog is, an opinion or a writing to inform. And then you also have, your alignment with the standards. Now, this is particular just to the lesson of this particular book. And here's the graphic organizers to consider. And then here's your second. So each lesson plan is unique, and those essential questions guiding and all of the auxiliary ideas here are to that particular book. I'm going to just go out of this a minute. I'm not sure how to do that. Is it going to help me to close? I don't know what these little icons are for. Do you know what they're for? I'm going to close that. Oops. What happens is,
Yeah, you're just in a PDF. You just have to go to the tab.
no, what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to close in the bar. I have to move the bar. My bar for Zoom is, how do I move the bar?
I think you just drag it.
Okay, there it is. Okay, thank you. Okay, so if you go here, you'll see the lesson plan for this book, the lesson template for this book. So this just gives you a plain template that you can cut and paste what you want to do in it. Here are your graphic organizers. For this particular, now the graphic organizers are the same in every single, within the series, so that you'll see them and then you can view them individually and you can customize them for your needs. You have the events and timelines, so here's some events and timelines that are important. And then there's people to know. These are just like really simple things like who, name, who or he, she was, and what they did. So it helps a student organize their thoughts and to know the impact that each of them had. And then there's a vocabulary word sort if you want to do something like that, cut and paste, or, cut them and put them around. So in the series, everything is really self-contained, and what we have found is that teachers especially have a sigh of relief because you can teach in collaboration. That's what these are built for. And what they have here is what they need. They really don't have to go out to look for particular primary sources, or they don't have to go out and look at those video clips because they're all contained here. And each page, it's written in the Lexile levels of, this series is really written for grades 5 through 10. So your Lexile ranges will be, I would say, robust for 5th grade. Quite robust. But with guided instruction, certainly initially can be used. So I'll look at, again, more about Jim Crow laws. So here you have something, you can view the picture always larger if you needed it. And you could talk about, just the simple fact of the Rex Theater was only for colored people. What does that mean? And so there's a lot of information that you can gain just from using the materials that are within this. And with all of the lesson plans and the organizers and all of this, it really helps lends itself to students having success in finding the information. And they like it because it's interactive with them. Stephanie, do you have any questions?
No, it's pretty self-explanatory.
And all of our books, all of our spotlight, those that say spotlight, are really written in the same format so that students become familiar with it, and so do you. And each of the lesson plans embedded in the planning guide, all of them, but then each in the book. So that, and people say, well, why do students get to see the lesson plan? If they're that interested, why not? So Is there anything else I can answer for you in this? Because I know that, you have to make a choice. I mean, if you wanted teen health and wellness, for a year, you could certainly have that. If Spotlight is something you wanted, we could make possibly arrangements for that. This one is fairly new. I would have to ask my boss if this is something that you're interested in. But we want you to have something that you feel is useful for your students. If you like the interactive ebooks with content creation tools, I can give you a series of that. But, you just need to know what works for you in your environment.
Right. My concern is I'm not sure how much the social studies teachers would use it.
Mm-hmm.
I know that I constantly plug different resources, and
I hear you.
I just feel like they kind of go to the wayside because they're stuck in what they know.
Yep.
So, I mean, I'd hate to be greedy, but I know that I would use a resource.
Right. Well, and you're saying you would use this resource or other Spotlight resources?
I'm kind of looking more for like a teen, you said that we already have Cyber Smarts, right?
Yes, you already have Cyber Smarts and Teen Cyber Smarts. She bought that for you, and you have Spotlight on Civic Action, which
some of the Spotlight on Civic Action has.
Here's the Teen Cyber Smarts, by the way. So it's just a different, it's just more at a higher level. But there's the Teen Cyber Smarts.
Right.
And you do not have that in your region.
Okay.
I could give you that and Cyber Smarts if you wanted. But here's this: you have 6 titles of the Civic Action, which are these titles right here, and you have Cyber Smarts and Teen Cyber Smarts.
Okay, and that's all that I have, right?
Yes, you have WSSLS. I mean, if you want to go to it, /WSSLS. And that's, you have something on there as well, but it's a trial. I think it's the Spotlight on the Rise and Fall of Ancient Civilizations. But if you go to Rosen Digital and you go to the catalog, and just let me know what you're thinking.
What about the bullying? What was that?
Where are you?
Go down a little bit. Down. The Stacy.
I got to see if that's written in Flash or not. Yeah, we have that. But I think they're old, to be honest with you.
Okay.
And I don't want to give you something that's old, especially in that arena. You'd be better off with the character strength and the teen character strengths. I think I want to just look at this, but I would think that these were written maybe in 2012 or 13. I know it doesn't sound old, but in this area, where you have Cyber Smarts and you have stuff on bullying and Cyber Smarts, which is updated annually. I don't know why it's taken so long for this stuff to load, because it could be just my bookshelf. I don't know. Because when I used it Friday, it was quick here. But I was on GoToMeeting. Is that any different, Mark, than Zoom?
No, I think it's pretty much the same thing.
About the same?
Yeah.
Let me see. I want to see how old this book is. It's 2013. That's 6 years old.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I mean, if you wanted it, I'll give it to you, but I'd give you something else with it. I think, the teen character strength and the character strength, or, there are other Spotlight series. Let me just go to, I don't know if I can just go real quick. I only have a few more minutes because they're going to be using this room. If I log out, I just want to log in real quick to WSSLS. Okay. Oh, WSSLS. this is what you have. You have Cyber Smarts. These are just up there for trial. But here's the civic action that you own, these 6. And then this is up on a trial. And I can put up anything else you want, but you could have, we would create your own bookshelf,
Right.
you know, so whatever you have would be unique to your school. And then you have Teen Cyber Smarts, which we went through. So you have this and civic action.
Okay. And everything else is on trial.
Right. But if you go to rosendigital.com, then you could say, oh, I like the character strength, or I like the interactive ebooks with content creation tools. I'll give you a few, a few series. But think it over and then just contact me. When are you guys out of school? Friday?
Friday is the last day.
For how long?
Till January 2nd.
Yeah, so, I mean, if you want to do it right after January, we could do that.
Okay.
I just don't want you to forget about it.
No, I won't forget about it.
Okay. Okay. Mark, I want to thank you for hanging out and being able to help make it successful. I appreciate that. And Stephanie, is there anything else I can answer for you?
No, that's fine.
Well, I thank you for your time, and I thank you for all you do for kids, because we need librarians in the buildings, and it's really important. So thank you for doing that, and have a great holiday.
Yes, you too.
And Mark, thank you so much, and have a great, do you work with Carl?
I do. He's here right now.
Oh, hi, Carl. How are you?
Doing all right yourself? Off to another
Good.
meeting.
I didn't realize you didn't have teen character strength. I was showing Jen.
It's fine. Yeah, I saw.
Oh, were you
Fine.
here?
Yeah,
You were
I was
there?
here.
Okay.
was
I didn't
looking
know if you'll want it at all, but she seemed to find it useful. And she was a health teacher,
Yes,
which was good. So I told her to contact you
that's fine.
if she needed anything else, because I don't know the portal to go through to get stuff. So,
All right.
okay.
Thank you so much. Better than driving down, right?
Yes, and you know what happened is my DSL broke a lot of the links.
Okay.
That's why I didn't see a log out and stuff. I spent 3 hours Friday with the VP of technology helping me in the public library, even though today it was slow in some areas of bringing it up.
Right.
But it was because my DSL breaks the links, so it goes out and searches and gets me old stuff back. And that's why we were seeing the different bookshelf and stuff.
All right.
I mean, how did I know that? You know?